He threw me with so much force, and I'm just sitting there picking shards of glass out of my arm.
He sees himself as the authority figure.
I would find my phone just missing. I started using cash.
That is really clever of her.
I need you to be that fail-safe for me. As a victim of domestic abuse, getting justice is very difficult.
Just imagine living under that psychological threat.
My name is Lejla, and I outsmarted a perpetrator of domestic abuse. I came to London in 1995 as an asylum seeker, fleeing ethnic cleansing and genocide at the time in Kosovo. We were placed on a council estate in the middle of West London and some like the most deprived areas.
Fleeing ethnic cleansing, that is huge. So already you can see the beginnings of trauma in Lejla's life.
The women in my community were pretty much expected to put up and shut up. That's pretty much, I guess, just what I expected in my dating life from the men that I dated at the time. When I first met my former partner, he was very funny, super charming, life and soul of the party. He charmed me very, very quickly.
I suspect that at this early stage, there was a lot of love bombing going on. He gave her what she needed. And what she needed at that point was somebody who was fun, lively, the life and soul of the party. So he folded her into his reality.
I was completely outcasted from my community for dating him. People said that I was betraying my own community, my culture. I was told I was a traitor. I was told that I was unlovable. I was isolated. From the very beginning, he acted as though he was my savior. The words that he would say to me over and over again was, "No one can love you like I can." When someone says that to you over and over again, you think, oh my God, he's right. I've been abandoned by my community. I am unlovable. No matter what happened in the relationship, in my eyes, he was the person that could make everything better for me.
I am here for you. Everything you need is going to come from me. What Lejla describes beautifully is the effect it has on her. And this is the beginning of that kind of trauma bonding. A very simple general definition of a trauma bond is an unhealthy relationship with your abuser. What that abuser may do is, strip you of your identity. They may intermittently reward you, punish you. They leave you in this state where you don't know whether you're coming or going, but you need them in your life. And you make excuses, you rationalize their awful behavior to you because sometimes they're very loving.
I was the breadwinner and had a good wage. He would say things to me, I feel so emasculated because I'm not working, you're working, and I don't have access to your money. We then got into this situation where all of my finances went into one joint account that he had access to. And he would say to me, "You don't even know how to pay a bill. You're useless. You're a liability." Breaking me down and then being the savior in the moment.
He's actually exploiting her. He's using her to gain total control of their financial status.
The first time he was violent, he came to pick me up from the train station and we got into an argument about timings and we continued arguing in bed, and then all of a sudden he got up out of bed. He puffed out his chest and it was like I immediately felt the atmosphere change. He put his hands around my neck and sat on my chest and pushed my head into the pillow a good few times. I think I was just shell-shocked for days afterwards. I couldn't even process what had happened to me.
This is the person that she has left her community for, the person who says, "I will take care of you," who is currently abusing her. I am not surprised she feels shell-shocked.
He said to me that, "I've never done that, or you made me do that." And I was like, oh, this obviously is my fault because no other woman has pushed him to do that.
I suspect that throughout that period of time, there was a lot of emotional abuse going on.
One particular Christmas, this was actually on Christmas Day, he threw me with so much force that I actually fell through the door, which had glass panels on it. And there was just blood everywhere, up the walls, on the carpet. And I'm just sitting there, just like struggling to process this moment, picking shards of glass out of my arm on Christmas Day. My family came over on Boxing Day. He played the perfect, attentive boyfriend. My family were like, oh, he's really lovely. People thought I was lucky to be with him.
This makes it much more difficult then for a victim to speak up and say, look what he's done to me. But I also wonder whether Lejla herself is also at this point in time good at wearing a mask to not reveal entirely what's going on, in the hope that when her family leave, he'll be in a good mood. Just imagine living under that level of psychological threat.
We were on our way into London for an event, and he always had to be on time. I've planned this journey meticulously so that we don't miss the start of the event and we miss the first train. He just turned around and in front of everybody, he just was like, I'm going to miss this and it's your fault. Watch what happens. I don't even want to go anymore. I'm going home. I managed to somehow get him to wherever we were going. And when we got there, he just turned to me and went, oh, give me a kiss. Beforehand, 99% of it happened in private and I hadn't told a single soul. And now he did it in public. You can't deny it once other people start witnessing it. And I knew I needed to get out. For the first time ever, I started telling people that I trusted and that I loved about what was happening to me. I told one person, and then I told another person, and then I told another person. Before I knew it, I'd built this support network, this army of love that I absolutely knew I would need in those final moments when I was ready to leave.
That is really clever of her. She has a real sense of, I know where I'm vulnerable. I know that this person can get me back at any point by showing remorse, by being loving to me, and I know I will fall for that. And just knowing that and saying to other people, I understand this about myself and I need your help to hold my hand when I'm there, is a huge sign of strength.
I think he realised that he was starting to lose control of me. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would find my phone just missing, and he'd be in bed next to me, just reading the messages, trying to find something. I don't know what he was looking for. And I just had to tell my family and friends, please don't message me in the evenings. Please only message me when I'm at work and he can't read my messages. I had to make him think that I wanted to work through the relationship and work through our problems so that I could escape, so that I could leave. We went to this first couples counselling session. The counsellor said, you can't do this work together. You can't come to these sessions together. You have to be doing this work apart. Oh my God, thank God he said that, because now this is my get out. I was like, right, if we're going to make this work, you have to leave our home throughout this time period of making it work. When that happened, I said, well, if this is gonna work, I can't have all of our finances going into one place because I don't have any independence. And of course there was backlash to that. He told me that I didn't know how to manage my money, that I was completely irresponsible. There was this small spark in me that was like, no, Lejla, you are going to do this. And so I separated the finances that way. I started using cash so that I could buy whatever it was that I needed, so that there was no way that he could trace it back to my plan to leave.
That is a very good practical strategy when you're in a situation with someone who's extremely controlling, possessive, and domineering over you.
The day that I left, I called my brother. I thought, if I tell him today, there's no way I can ever go back. I said, look, this is what has been happening. I'm telling you because today is the day that I leave, and I'm scared that if I don't tell you that I'm going to go back, and I need you to be that failsafe for me. I need you to be the person that grounds me and anchors me whilst I'm trying to do the hardest part of my life ever. Without those people, without my support network, I don't think I could have been so successful in that leaving journey. I wrote a long message and I sent it to him. I pretty much said to him, like, there is just no going back now. You have violated me in every way possible. There's nothing you can do to change my mind about this. I don't think he quite believed me, but for me, that was the moment when it was completely done. I was desperate to find other women who were like me. I was missing that community. I was missing people who were just like, I get it. I know what it feels like. I started making videos, telling survival stories anonymously on behalf of other women. The first video I made, I posted it on Instagram, and overnight it went viral. This community formed of female survivors of domestic abuse, and I couldn't believe that there were other women, so many other women out there who were just like me. All they wanted was to be seen and heard, because as a victim of domestic abuse, getting justice is very difficult. Securing a conviction against your abuser is very difficult. And so it leaves survivors thinking, what do I do now once it's all said and done? Once I've left and I'm away from the perpetrator and everyone has done what they can to keep me safe, now what? How do I rehabilitate? So women started sending me their stories. They would send me messages with essays like, please tell my story. And that's how the whole title, Lejla, Please Tell My Story, was even born. Like, it wasn't from me. It was from the women in my community who were just desperate to be seen and heard.
Here we have Lejla, almost left as an empty shell of a woman, having the courage to step back into her life, to tell other people her story and support them. I mean, Lejla, what an incredibly courageous, powerful, strong woman you are, and how lucky we are to have your voice to share with others, to say you are not alone and you don't deserve this.